Let's get into some controversy because everybody's freaked out about soy. This question, every time I do a Q&A, a live Q&A, somebody's asking about soy. So I'd love to get your take on, is soy healthy or unhealthy?
Yeah. So I believe soy is very healthy. And I think the data is pretty clear about that. I think that where the soy rap came in, well, first of all, that whole thinking that estrogen causes breast cancer is incorrect. And anyone who would stop and think logically and long enough about it would realize that it cannot be that estrogen causes breast cancer, because breast cancer is far more common in the postmenopausal population than in the premenopausal population. So if estrogen were really the issue, why aren't we seeing it in premenopausal women over postmenopausal women? Why aren't we seeing it in pregnant women over everyone else?
It's a good point.
Yeah. So estrogen is not the problem. Now, there are environmental estrogens called xenoestrogens that are a problem. And the reason that they're a problem is they look like estrogens, right? And they sit in that estrogen receptor. But unlike normal estrogen that sits in its receptor, does its job, and dissociates away, and then gets metabolized out by the body, these xenoestrogens are just sitting there. They're not. They continue to stimulate the cell, and they cause DNA damage. So these things that I'm talking about, plastics, antibiotics, fragrance, phthalates, PCA, PCBs, like all of these things are acting like toxic estrogen in your body, and they are a huge problem for sure. But the estrogen that is made by your ovaries or in men by your adrenal glands, this is not what's causing the problem. So we need to get rid of that thinking. So if estrogen isn't the problem, then plant estrogens are not a problem. And they're not. Now, where I think soy got a bad rap is the vast majority of soy in this country, in the United States, is GMO soy. And GMO, genetically modified, this does not act like a normal plant. And the greatest example of this is Eichhorn wheat. The wheat of our ancestors, biblical wheat, has 14 chromosomes. Dwarf wheat, the GMO wheat that we have designed so that we can have plentiful crops, has 140 chromosomes. We are not talking about the same thing. Yeah. And it's the same thing with soy. So if you're eating GMO soy, you're eating something that your body does not recognize as food. Now, there are people who don't tolerate soy, so I'm not talking about that. Like if you don't tolerate soy, soy is not good for you, right? But if you are someone that tolerates soy and you're eating unprocessed, non-GMO soy, it's a great source of phytonutrients, protein, it just is. So minimally processed soy, so edamame is unprocessed, and soy milk is made from edamame. Tofu is made from soy milk. Like these are minimally processed soy. Tempeh is fermented soy. These are minimally processed things that your body recognizes as food. And so I think these are great sources of nutrients for your diet. But I don't tell anyone to eat soy protein isolate. Right? Your body doesn't understand what that is. So, once in a while, if you are, out and the only thing on the menu is an Impossible Burger, then I guess, but this should not be a staple in anyone's diet, right? These highly processed foods, even if they're plant-based, are not good for you.
Thank you for the explanation on soy. So soy is wonderful. It has anti-cancer nutrients in it and phytoestrogens, which are good. They're like estrogen, similar to estrogen, but they're good. They're not harmful. And even genistein in soy is anti-cancer.
I mean, we have estrogen receptors everywhere in our body. And to have a food that can help to stimulate those receptors in a productive way and protect our health is a blessing from God, and we should be taking advantage of it, right?
Yeah, and it's protective. It protects you from absorbing xenoestrogens.
Yeah. And when you look at the populations of people that are high soy consumers, they have less incidence of cancer. So it's very hard to logically follow the no soy argument because it just doesn't stand up, doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, there's some great research, great studies, great science out there on soy and cancer prevention and soy on cancer survival. Breast cancer patients that consume the most soy have better survival. And that's only 1 to 2 servings per day, right?
Yeah.
So it's like 8 ounces of soy milk, organic soy milk in your smoothie, or a serving half a cup of cooked soybeans edamame with lunch or dinner or on top of your salad. It's easy.
Exactly. It is easy.
Thanks for watching. If you like what you just saw, why not subscribe? Here's a link to do that. And if you'd like to watch the full interview, you can find it at chrisbeatcancer.com. There's a link to it in the description right below this video.